the Mets, meet the Mets. Head for the park and greet the Mets. Hot dogs, green grass, all out of shade. Guaranteed to have a heck of a day because those Mets are really rocking that ball, hitting those home runs over the wall. New Jersey, Brooklyn, Queens, uptown and down. Let's go Mets! That's the cheer all over New York town. Meet the Mets, meet the Mets, meet the Mets, meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Head for the park and greet the Mets. Hot dogs, green grass, all out of shade. Guaranteed to have a heck of a day because those Mets are really rocking the ball, hitting those home runs over the wall. Go Mets! New Jersey, Brooklyn, Queens, uptown and down. Let's go Mets! That's the cheer all over New York town. Meet the Mets. Let's go Mets!
Hi, everybody. This is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, the Hut, and welcome to the Baseball Hut. Still trying to get the quirks out with the visible reappearing man back again here in New York City. Now, please subscribe to this channel and like this video as I'm going in and out. The hell. So please like this video. But in the meanwhile, we say hello to the chat. Hello to Chadwick Newman, Truth and Lies of the Philippines, Stephen Bunting, Peter Koine. Hope I'm getting that right. Now we got another day and a half. It's now 9 o'clock, a little after 9 o'clock. And the Mets are, and Major League Baseball is getting close to its trading deadline. The trading deadline is tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about and a lot not to talk about. There has been one big trade. That was the other night with Luis Castillo going from the Reds to the Mariners. Juan Soto's still sort of hanging around Washington. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets. I'll talk about him in a bit. But with the Mets in particular, I did a video earlier, which I did last night. It was about Willson Contreras and Mark Vientos. Some of the teams all think they're all going to get like a Pete Crow Armstrong from the Mets, and really just in general from Major League Baseball teams that are buying. You have a situation. I'll give you an example. Another example. JD Martinez. He's 35 years old. Martinez. JD Martinez is 35 years old, folks. And the guy, let me take this screen off. The guy is just, he's 35. Why is any team wanting to make any kind of major move and trade one of your big prospects for a 35-year-old DH? Who wants to do that? What team would want to do that? Why should any team give up and the Red Sox are looking for a top 5 prospect. That's what they're looking for a 35-year-old DH who has been sort of dealing with back spasms over the last couple of weeks. Mets aren't going to do that. No team should do that. The prices from these sellers are outrageous from some of them. But the position play is a totally different story. I was very surprised at the kind of amount of players that the Reds got back in return for the Mariners. They got their 2 best picks. I mean, their 2 best prospects, the number 1 prospect and the number 2 prospect. But the position players, they're not going to get much. JD Martinez is going to get. It's going to cost any team a hell of a lot less to trade Then this whole thing with Benintendi. You saw that trade with Benintendi. The Yankees gave up nothing for him. Absolutely nothing. They gave up absolutely nothing for Benintendi. Benintendi is a better player. He's a younger player, by the way. He's a younger player than Martinez, and they gave up nothing for him. Three middling prospects that are pitchers, and these guys will probably be relievers in the future if they make to the majors. Two of them are 24 years old, so they're like round the cusp. They have to get to the major leagues now, and the guy's 22. You're not talking about 19, 20-year-old guys. So the idea that you're going to and Benintendi, how old is Benintendi? 28, 29? And that's the best that the Royals could do. That's a terrible trade for the Royals, I thought, by the way. Hello, Nelson Cruz. Hello. Um, it made no sense. Some of these trades make no sense to me. What the buyers are looking for. For instance, the Nationals and this thing with Juan Soto. The Nationals are terrible. He has not made them better. Okay, he is not like they pitch around him because he's the best bat in that lineup, but he does not make them better. So if you're a team like say the Padres or the Dodgers, because the Dodgers are kind of and the Cardinals. The Cardinals need pitching. All right. The Padres need some more offense. But why are you gutting your entire farm system in the middle of a season for a guy that might not be with you 2 or 3 years down the road? But that's besides the point. Why would you gut your team when your team is in postseason? The season were to end today. The Padres are in. The season were to end today. The Dodgers are in. So why are you gutting your entire farm system for one player? And in all likelihood, Boris is going to take him to the free agency because he wants to break that $500 million ceiling. So why are these teams doing these kinds of moves or trying to? Now the Mets weren't going to do this. I'm glad the Mets they're not going to talk to the Mets because they were. I mean the Nationals are crazy. They're looking for 6 of the best prospects of all these teams, and for what reason? You don't. First of all, you don't do that, and you don't do that in the middle of the season. And if you don't win, then where are you then? You got 2 years after this year with this player, and since he didn't guarantee you getting to postseason this year, then it wasn't a very good trade. And if you're a team, the Nationals are trying to make it seem like, well, if we don't move him, this is the saying. This is from Bob Nightingale. While the Padres, Cardinals, and Dodgers remain squealing the hunt for Soto, the Nats are making it clear the teams with 33 hours left until the trading deadline. Plain and simple. If no one meets their asking price, they will simply keep him for the rest of the year. Exactly. It seems to be that some of these players, some of these teams are starting to recognize he's not going to get moved. Let me get to a couple of things with the Mets. Obviously, this is the Mets channel. This is from from Jim Bowden, The Athletic, talking about certain players. JD Martinez. Rumors have persisted. The Red Sox and Mets are talking about a trade that would send Martinez to Queens for Don Smith and a solid prospect. That type of deal would benefit the Mets in the short term and the Red Sox in the long term. Martinez has made 2 consecutive All-Star teams, but age, he turns 35 later this month, and decline are real factors for the soon-to-be free agents. Well, that's the thing about Martinez. He's 35. I have no problem getting rid of Don. Don, goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Makes no sense for the Mets to keep him here. He's going to get moved. And I was thinking, even if Dom doesn't get moved and he's still with the Mets, he's not going to get – they'll send him to the minor leagues and have him play in AAA. He has options. Hello, Aaron Gandia. Hello, Mothman Evolved. This is from Bowden from his article. This is about Contreras. It's only a matter of time before the Cubs trade all-star catcher Willson Contreras and righty reliever David Robinson. But will they be packaged together or traded separately? The Mets, Padres, Astros, and Rays are all in play for Contreras, with the Mets and Padres more likely to acquire Contreras and Robertson in a package deal than the Astros or Rays. Mets have to get Robertson. Okay, they must get him. That is a very important piece of the Mets. That's one player the Mets must find a way to trade for. More than I mean, I want another bat in this line just to give them length. But this team needs Robertson. He is a key player for this stretch run, and for October. Okay, very very important player for the Mets. Here's from MLB trading rumors. Obviously, the Mets are in on Christian Vasquez as well as catcher with the Red Sox, but the Astros are involved. The Astros have reportedly been in the mix for upgrades at catcher and at first base, prominently connected to both Contreras and Josh Bell. I've heard nothing with Josh Bell with the Mets. Um, I've heard nothing with Josh Bell in the Mets. Vasquez in 3 weeks is 32 in 3 weeks. Is more of a straightforward candidate than this other player, this Chi-Man Choi, the first baseman for the Rays. The longtime Red Sox backstop is playing out the final season of a contract extension several years ago and will be a free agent at season's end. Boston is sitting in the AL East cellar at present. Yeah, let me tell you something about the Red Sox. If you're a Red Sox fan, you are in last place. You're a 500 team, and you're having to deal with the humiliation of the Yankees being in front, so far out front, and now you're behind the Baltimore Orioles. They must be livid up. They must be livid up there. Do you think they're not going to start making moves just to get rid of pieces, just to be a distraction? You know. I mean, I'm glad I'm not a Red Sox fan. We've been Mets fans for a long time. We understand. But if you're up there and you're dealing with a bad team, and they seem just listless, the Red Sox completely, totally listless up there. And I love it when certain teams don't do well. The Red Sox are one of them, because then the fans get all spastic. But in the meanwhile, please like this video and subscribe to the Baseball Hut. But that's why that's the thing about some of these players, especially these older players now. Is that you can't make these moves. You can't trade prospect. See, here's the thing about Javi Baez. The Mets kind of thought. Back. Sorry about that. Have sometimes we have disconnections here. I always thought it was because not being on camera, but now I'm on camera and it's still a problem. Hello, Randy Williams. He's not happy. This is disgusting. Sorry about that. Please bear with me. But here's the thing: the Mets are on pace to win 102 games. Okay, this is not about uh, taking you over the top for the season. They're on pace for 102 wins. 102 wins. So, what are we talking about here? We're talking about October. Tomorrow night, they're going to get a pitcher back who, I don't know his name. What's his name? This deGrom. Hello, Roberto. Get into your comment. We're just talking about this. Um, this is about the Mets winning the World Series. You don't need to make a big move. You don't need to make a big move to get you over the top. Vogel Black is an incremental move. Uh, Naquin, if I'm saying his name right, he's an incremental move. All right. These kinds of moves, uh, these kinds of moves can help you in postseason. Last year, look at those little moves the Braves made right before uh, July 31st. Um, that's that's what made them win the World Series. And most of those guys, Eddie Rosario, who would have thought Eddie Rosario was going to do the kind of things he did in October? Eddie Rosario, you know, from Roberto. Let me read you his thing. I heard just now from MLB that the Cubs haven't done the deal with the Mets about Contreras and the closers because they want Vientos and two other high prospects and Dom Smith talking to Boston. Well, I wouldn't do that. Okay, you know, Contreras is 30 years old. He's a catcher. He's an average catcher at best. Offensively, he'll help the team, but he's just not. You know, they've been fine defensively behind the plate. Why make that part suffer? Randy Williams, 100 wins is no championship. Great. Uh, the Giants won 107 games and they got beaten postseason. Okay. The Morph Man evolved. Yes, in October, that's where most fans' concerns should be. Absolutely. Uh, absolutely. Screw the Cubs. Here's the thing. There should not be this sort of desperation for the Mets to trade their best prospects for guys that are going to be gone. Early on, people said, well, they should trade Alvarez no matter what. Why? The guy is the number one prospect in the game. The Mets have catching issues. So if you bring in a Contreras, the people are saying, we'll trade Alvarez for Contreras. And I'm like, why? Contreras is 30 years old. He's not, his prime is gone. We're in the middle to the end of his prime. You have Contreras is 20 years old. He's clearly not ready. His bat's probably ready. But his defense needs work. He's got to learn how to control a pitching staff and take care of that. By the way, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and like the video. A couple things about the Met farm system a little bit. Brett Beatty, boy, he's gone crazy. I think in the last 2 weeks he's hit like 500 and Double A. They should call him up to Triple A at some point. Alex Ramirez, the Mets called Alex Ramirez. He got promoted to from Port St. Lucie, the Mets team down there, to Brooklyn. And he's been destroying Brooklyn pitching. He keeps hitting home runs like crazy. He's really taken a major step forward. I just wanted to mention that about the Met farm system. But their prospects have really had very good seasons down there. Obviously, Alvarez is starting to kick ass down in AAA, or up in AAA. He's not going anywhere. I mean, I don't think he'll be with the Mets in September, but he's going to be here next year. I don't have any doubts on that, unless there's some issue. And Beatty, they should promote him to AAA at some point. He might have gone past he might be just beginning to destroy some of the pitching down there. So let me get into real quickly. I'll be back later in the live stream. Also, there'll be a video later, I think, on Juan Soto. And we'll talk about him. And meanwhile, let's get into some of these players. Um, yeah, you're gonna notice that the channel's gonna do more sort of general stuff on the in Major League Baseball as well. I think, but let's see. In the meanwhile, please like this video. Let's see. As we wait for this thing to come up, takes forever. Yeah, so the Yankees didn't give up much to get Benintendi. So that's the asking price. That's the asking pay. That's the asking price of these position players. To be honest with you. Hello, Hansel. Hello, KT Rob. Hansel. People always suggest a wild trade. I remember 30-14. Do you see into the future? We got baseball in 1,000 years? No, I'm joking. Yes, the people are saying trade Syndergaard for Lucroy. And that would have been crazy. So please like this video. I mean, I'm a bit of a wise guy sometimes. Bit of a wise guy sometimes. To be honest with you, you don't see the other part of me on this channel. All right. So I'm going to go through some of these players a little bit, just in general way, and of course we'll be back later. I have a whole list of players, a whole list of teams here on the side that are in on some of these players. So Juan Soto, he's going to get moved, but in more likelihood he's probably going to get moved in the offseason. I don't see him getting moved now. To be honest with you, that I just don't see that happening. He's not getting moved right now. I don't think that. I just don't see that happening long term. Him sticking around. But the Padres involved. Anything about the Padres? They're getting Tatis Jr. back soon. So what is this sort of rush to make him a Padre? You know, and the Cardinals need some pitching. They don't have enough pitching with in that division. Okay, Contreras. We'll see where he goes. He's got a couple teams on him. We got the Mets, the Padres. That was a team from last night that popped up. Tampa Bay, Houston. I would say San Francisco's out because they're going to sell, and the Cleveland Guardians, or whatever the hell they call themselves these days. Hello, Kyle G. Give them Dom for sure. Oh, we'll see. Josh Bell. I've heard Houston with Josh Bell. Who else with Josh Bell? Seattle, maybe. The Guardians, maybe. Milwaukee's looking for a bat too, so they might get one of these bats that the Mets don't get. They're looking for a big bat in that line. Okay, Luis Castillo, he's gone. He got traded to the Mariners. But the Yankee fans, let me tell you something. The Yankee fans are so pissed off they didn't get Castillo. It cracks me up to no end. I love it here at the hut when Yankee fans are pissed off. I love it. It feeds into my hatred for the Yankees. Oh, it's great. It's awesome. It's awesome. That's like the best thing that can happen. So when the Yankees don't, when the Yankees, and here's the thing about the Yankees, they are basically starting to play like they did uh, for the last few years, which is pretty much hit the home runs. This is the best way to beat the Yankees. Don't walk anybody in front of them. That's the best. That's what happened against the Mets last week when what the hell is his name hit the home run? Gleyber Torres hit the home run against um, David Peterson. He walked the leadoff batter. Once he don't do that with the Yankees. Yeah, and the Yankees do not hit good pitching or great pitching. They don't hit. They hit mediocre pitching. That's why they beat the hell out of the Royals this past weekend. It's because the Royals have bad pitching, and that's why they didn't hit Scherzer. And they didn't. Who's the other pitcher that pitched against them? Oh, Bassett, right? And they didn't hit Bassett. So, or Taiwan Walker, I'm sorry. So they don't hit good pitching, the Yankees. They hit bad, mediocre pitching. So they're going to have a difficult time. I mean, with all the wins that they've done, they're like on the cusp of not having the best record in baseball. Houston's going to pass them. The Dodgers are going to pass them. And the Mets played rather well against them this past week. That game on Wednesday, everybody was going crazy here, obviously, Frankie Montas, that's the next pitcher the Yankees are trying to get. We'll see where he goes. I've heard the Cardinals in on him. Where's Frankie on my list? The Cardinals and the Blue Jays are on him. Tyler Mahle, who's the other Reds pitcher, he's going to get moved too, I would assume. The Reds have done a good job with their farm with their trade with Castillo. They brought in Marte, Stout, Arroyo, and more. And obviously Marte is the big prospect, shortstop prospect they have. They are not too far away, the Reds. It's just that they basically stripped it down, and the ownership sucks. The ownership absolutely sucks there. And when you have ownership that's that bad, you're screwed. Uh, Ian Happ, all kinds of rumors the last couple of days. He's going to get moved pretty quickly. That's another piece. The Brewers, the Padres, the Yankees, the Cardinals. I don't know about the Cardinals. I don't think the Cardinals, the Cubs will make a move with the Cardinals. The Blue Jays and the Braves. I'll tell you, the Braves have been awfully quiet. Braves have been very, very quiet, by the way. All right. Yeah, the media's complaining. See, this is the thing about why it's been slow. You got extra teams that are trying to get that are in postseason. By the way, so why that was the big problem with the extra teams in this race is that because you have more buyers and you have fewer sellers, is going to be sort of a slow kind of drip here. Like the Orioles, should the Orioles be buying at this point? Probably not. Um, well, we'll see. JD Martinez, I mentioned him a little bit with the Mets and with the Astros. The Rays would definitely be interested in him. I don't know if the Red Sox would trade with the Rays, and of course Milwaukee. Brandon Drury, pretty much every team's probably gonna. The Mets should probably look to him. Why don't the Mets bring him in? They wouldn't have to. I mean, they might not have to give up too much for him. You know, he's had a really good season. David Robertson, all the contending teams are going to be on him. The Mets and the Yankees in particular. I know the Yankees had a bad injury to one of their relievers in Michael King. So that's a player to keep an eye on with a team that you got to keep an eye on if you're a Met fan. As the Yankee scum. Um, from Aaron, is it just me or would it be frustrating if they traded for Trey Mancini? No, because they need another bat in the lineup. A right-handed bat could really couldn't hurt this team. And they've done early on, Vogelback has been pretty good. I'm really surprised by him. Vogelback has been pretty good. He's doing exactly what they said. He's done a hell of a lot more than Dom Smith. Hello, Southern Cal Mets fan. Wow, look at the people in here. Of course, people coming in here for the first time. I am the Baseball Hut. I'll be on for just a little bit. I'll take a bit of a break. I got to pay some bills. I'm on vacation this week. And I will be here today, later on. But please subscribe. And I will give you my best ability to disseminate information to you. There'll be a video in between, probably about Juan Soto, I think. And we'll talk about him. And not that he's not coming to the Mets, by the way. Noah Syndergaard. Good old Noah. Noah doesn't have so much thunder behind his lightning. Not a lot of lightning and thunder there anymore. I've heard quite a few teams with him. I've heard the Phillies. I've heard the Phillies prominently. the Yankees, the Blue Jays, Minnesota, the White Sox. I don't know what's going on with the White Sox. I don't think they're selling because they have a manager that's 100 years old, so they don't want to like do anything with him. The Phillies, obviously, and the Cardinals. I've heard the Cardinals too, so it's really the Phillies and the Cardinals for him. Nathan Evaldi. Now, if there were a pitcher, okay, if this might be for me, uh, Nathan Evaldi would be the kind of pitcher if I were the Mets, even though the Mets aren't like looking for starting pitching. If there's one pitcher to bring into the New York Mets, I'm talking about for the next 2 months to pitch for the Mets, that would be the guy. He's a big game pitcher. He gets out tough hitters, good lineups. He destroys. That's a guy, folks. That's a guy you'd want to bring in to help your pitching staff. Now, obviously, the Mets are going to get somebody a little bit better than him to pitch for them. Um, so that kind of puts that in comparison. But just sort of mentioning that he's going to have a big market this offseason. The Mets will definitely be in on him. Let's take a look at him. I want to take a look at him, see how old he is. Obviously, Joe Musgrove is off the list. Joe Musgrove is now going to be a Padre for the next 5 years. Here's Nathan Evaldi. He's 32 years old. Let's see. Let me change this a little bit. And share something else to you. Yes, everybody coming in here, please like this video and subscribe. The more you like, the more this can get recommended by YouTube. And I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. So here's Nathan Evaldi. Several teams will be in on him, obviously. As we wait for this to come up. Things run rather slowly here. We run things by way of Dixie Cup. And that's no joke. That's no joke. Where's Nathan Evaldi? Where the hell is this guy on my list? But all the big teams, and I don't have any teams attached to him yet. But I would. He's a car. I mean, he could be a perfect guy to pitch for the Cardinals. This guy would be very good for the Cardinals. Now, these numbers you look at, his career numbers are not very good, but this guy pitches great in postseason. He's fine his postseason stuff. We also have memberships here. You get these special badges. You get team numbers. So you need to check out the memberships here. I do have memberships here. I'm very quiet with it because I'm very busy. So look at some of these numbers. Very good numbers. Other than the ALCS, he's pitched very well against some of these teams. He kills the Yankees. We love it that he kills the Yankees. So, but this guy is a big game pitcher, and he's not afraid at the moment. So this is a guy, if you're the New York Mets, or any team really, going forward, this is the kind of guy you want to have. This is not the kind of move. This is not the kind of move that that teams are, you're right there, and you want to take yourself over the top. You know he's going to pitch well in postseason. So that's a name to keep an eye on, at least for the future anyway. Just wanted to mention that. So please like this video, of course, and subscribe to the Baseball Hut. I'm going to go through this list really quickly, but like I said, I'll be back in a little bit to discuss more players and get back to the Mets. Hopefully we'll have some moves. If nothing happens, well, first of all, nothing can't happen because this team needs some bullpen help. Honestly, with Drew Smith going down, it hurts them. But I would mention this about Drew Smith. Drew Smith has not pitched well since his 13 and a third innings of no run baseball in the beginning of the season. He's got an ERA of 4.96 since that run. So he's not pitched as well as some people have led you to believe. And he's given up a lot of walks. He's walked a lot of batters. Check out this stat about Edwin Diaz. Edwin Diaz in the last 2 months has pitched 21 innings. He's given up 10 hits, one earned run, two walks, and 46 strikeouts. I posted on my community. You always got to check my community if you subscribe to this channel because I'm always posting stuff. I posted that he should be the leading candidate to win the Cy Young. He should get a lot of votes for the Cy Young Award. I haven't heard anybody mention him for the Cy Young for the National League. That's how well he's pitched. And if he pitches like this through October, this team's going to win the World Series. You know. All right. Just wanted to mention that because one person wrote to me, it's early. It's not early. There's only 60-something games left. And he's been the best pitcher in the National League for most of the year. But I don't know anybody else thinks that, but I do. Jose Quintana, his market is picked up. What the hell is he? What the hell? He's been Pittsburgh, right? Pittsburgh. Where do I have him on my list? I had him here before. Might be on the next page. I heard the Yankees, and the Cardinals. Cardinals need pitching. They shouldn't be so like involved with this thing with the with Soto. Drew Smiley, I don't have a team for him. Michael Fulmer, I know the Mets are very interested in him. That I can tell you. They're very, very interested in him. Okay. All right, let's hit from Bob Nightingale. This is about Juan Soto. While the Padres and St. Louis Cardinals have been considered the frontrunners for Juan Soto, the Dodgers have been much more aggressive of late in their trade proposals. Again, how much more do the Dodgers need to win a World Series? Is he? I mean, is that big of a deal to bring him in? Now they do have a farm system that is willing to give up a bunch of players for any trade, for any veteran player, and not be hurt by it. But you gotta be a little careful with him. Like I said, we'll see though. Let's get down to some more players here. Andrew Chafin. The Mets are talking to the Tigers. I would mention that, as well as the Red Sox and the Cubs are the fourth team they were talking to, and the Orioles. Matt Moore, keep an eye on him. Chris Martin got traded to the Dodgers. Michael Gibbs is still with the Cubs. With Merrifield, what happened to Merrifield? What a bad season he's had. But I guess when you're 33 years old, you're going to be pretty much shot. Carlos Rodon, who pitched well for the Giants last night, he's probably going to get moved. What did I hear him with? I heard him with the Yankees, the Twins, and the Cardinals too. Jock Peterson, he's on the IL with the concussion. I don't know where he's going to get. I don't think he's getting moved. Wilmer Flores, let's see where Wilmer gets moved. I don't think he'll come here because he didn't have any flexibility as a position player. He's just too much of a lead foot. He's just, he's just a guy that he's a terrible defensive player. Trey Mancini, I've only heard one team with him. Mancini for the most part. That's the Mets. I've heard Cleveland, Minnesota. No, not Minnesota. Milwaukee and Houston. I haven't heard him with too many teams. Donovan Solano, we'll see where he goes. Dave Peralta got traded to the Rays. Ben Gamel, Tommy Pham will have the Reds are going to move everybody, to be honest with you. They're moving everybody, by the way. Sean Murphy. I don't think he's getting moved, folks. I don't think Sean Murphy's getting moved. But he's a guy that's going to get moved eventually. Yeah, he's going to move him. There's no doubt in my mind. He's going to get moved. Ramon Laureano. I've heard a few teams with him. I've heard the Braves with him. I've heard the Braves, the Mariners, Miami, and what the hell? I write them down both twice. Stupid is that? But Yeah, the Braves have been very, very quiet. Very quiet. Makes me nervous. Nelson Cruz. I don't know who's going to want to pick him up. He's kind of washed up. No offense, Nelson, if you're in the chat or if you're still in the chat. Scarballo. We'll see. A lot of middle relievers. A lot of these Tigers are really bringing in a lot of interest from a lot of teams. That's going to be a very good market. I think that might be a better market than, say, the hitters, I think. Christian Vasquez, he's better than what the Mets have. We'll leave it at that. He's been pretty good. I know the Mets have liked him in the past. Dom Smith and JD Davis. Uh, Dom is gonna be he's not gonna be on this team. You know. Uh, if you've made a trade for Vogelback and Tyler Naquan, why do you need Dom Smith on this team? Vogelback can play first a little bit. Why do you need Dom Smith? Can somebody explain that to me now? Mets don't need him. Uh, the Mets don't need him. Shane Wick, 722. Are you still hating on McNeil? I don't hate him. For God's sake. You criticize somebody doesn't mean I hate them. Okay. We'll see what hit. He's hit really well. And it's not about the current state of a player's hitting streak or not hitting streak. Okay. We'll see where he is long term. And he is older. He's 30 years old? We'll worry about him in the offseason. So Dom is going to be gone. There's a very good chance that Dominic Smith will be gone or he will not be on this team after August 2nd. If he is here on this team, I will be shocked. I will be completely shocked. Because he's been such a drag offensively. He's been such a drag for this team. I would never, ever, ever make a move to keep him here. He is dreadful. He is dreadful. So now JD Davis is a different story because JD is a player that he can hit. See, this difference between Dom and JD Davis. Dom can't hit, in my view. He's got a slow bat. Okay. But unless you make a mistake, and he hasn't hit a home run, by the way, in over a year. The guy has not hit one home run over a year. The guy's hit 46 home runs in his career. And how many did Pete hit in his first year? 53? This guy hasn't even come close. And people were mad last offseason. They were telling me that Dom was better than Pete. Get the hell out of here. Dom is going to get moved. You can't have him on this team, like I said. But here's the difference between him and Davis. Now I get back to it. Davis can hit bad pitching. It was no surprise the other night that he hit a home run against the Marlins because he's good against really bad pitching. The thing about Davis is he can't hit good pitching. He can't hit the Astros. That I can tell you because his bat is too damn slow. But if you make a mistake on him, he'll hit it. And people keep saying, well, he's had the hardest hit rate of any player in the National League. But the results suck. The results are terrible. So why have him here? So he has a better chance of being here just due to the fact that he's right-handed. And he could play, he could play first, third, he's got a little more value in terms of that. Dom has no value because they don't want him in the outfield. Joey Gallo. What's Joey going to? Joey has no home. He's like the homeless guy. I don't know where he's going. The Yankees are desperate to get rid of him. Desperate. I've heard the Padres, the Rangers, and the Brewers. What would any team want with this guy? And why did the Yankees make that deal? I never understood why the Yankees made that trade last year. I don't understand why the the Yankees made that trade for Joey Gallo. Joey Gallo is so bad; it's not even funny. And the only reason his WAR was so high is because he's such a good defensive outfielder. And with the Yankees, he doesn't play right field. He plays left field. He's stupid. It made no sense at the time, and it still doesn't. Look at all the people in here. Wow. Now I will be back later. Um, I'll be back later to do a live stream, so we'll have a little more fun later. And I might do a live stream during the game tonight. Please let me know if you want me to do one. Miguel Andujar. This guy played well for a while, and then now he's driving the Yankees crazy. He wants to get traded. I think he's in minor leagues right now. But he's been driving the Yankees crazy. We'll see where he goes if he goes. Pablo Lopez, the Mets kicked his ass yesterday, where he didn't pitch well. We got a whole bunch of starting pitchers here. Plesac, Ugidi. I don't know. I know I'm not saying his name right. With the Astros, surprisingly so. It seems like the Astros want to move some of their starting pitching. Martin Perez, will see if he gets moved. I think he might stay in Texas. I think they might resign him. Daniel Bard, he re-signed with the Rockies. Garrett Cooper, the Mets have been mentioned with Garrett Cooper. Um, they've been mentioned with Garrett Cooper. I wouldn't touch him. That guy doesn't have much power. He's got like 3 or 4 more home runs than JD Davis has. So no. I got shit to do. I got shit to do. I'll be back in a little bit. Blake Snell, I'm surprised he's on this list. Brad Keller, Michael A. Taylor. I've heard him with the Braves. That the Braves are very much interested in him. Lou Trevino, I would be very careful if I were any team. He's pitched terribly. Jose Iglesias, Mets don't need him. Rafael Ortega, the Mets don't need him. Christian Walker, I've heard his name mentioned. Michael Walker. If you look at Michael Walker's numbers, we remember him as a Met 2 years ago, and he was terrible. He's pitched really well for the Red Sox. He's like one of their best pitchers up there. He's like an ERA under 3. He's 6-2. I was like, holy crap, he's played really well up there. He's played really well. He's pitched really well for the Red Sox. And then, of course, Rich Hill, 90-year-old Rich Hill. He's pitched pretty good, too, you know. I think he's probably going to get moved. And then the last player on my list, it's on their list, is Shohei Ohtani. Show me the money. That's what he's going to be saying, like going into next offseason. Show me the money. I don't think he's getting moved right now. I know that from what we've read and what we've heard, that he's not happy there. And can you blame him? He's on a bad team. You know, he's on a bad team, and you know, I know he's not happy being there. He's a guy that is just. He's gonna be very difficult to sort of figure out his value. What's his value as a player? What is his value as a player? I couldn't tell you. Um, his value is such that I mean, if you're the Mets, what do you give up for this guy? You're gonna give Alvarez for him? That's another team that is a bad team, and he has not made them be champions. You know what kind of move he is? Say, for instance, we all have our prayers that the Mets win the World Series this year. He's the kind of guy that you bring in after you win a World Series. Um, he's the kind of guy you win a World Series, right? And you want to do a big splash. You want to make your fans happy. Um, and he's a free agent after the season, or you bring him in the following season through a trade. That's the kind of player that Ohtani is. It gets people talking to continue to talk about your team and enjoy your team. Is does he make? But then does he make the Angels a better team as currently constituted the way they are? Probably not. But hear the birds chirping. I think the birds are agreeing with me. Even a bird brain understands that you don't break up your farm system. It's one thing if you like bring in a guy like say Gary Carter. You need a catcher. I don't know why they're chirping all of a sudden. It's one thing if you bring in or if you bring in a guy like Carlos Delgado. You need a big bat in the middle of your lineup. It's another thing if and you're not there yet, but you're like in the middle of the season. Why do you break up your farm system for any of these players? I know people want to win. I want to win, but for the long term health of your organization, say the Mets were to do this, or any team were to do this, and you don't win, and then you struggle to bring in other pieces going into next year. So, say for instance, he gets traded to the Padres, right? You trade him, he goes to the Padres. The Padres don't make the World Series, okay, with Soto, and because they traded all these different players. So, say for instance, the Padres need a another bat in their lineup going into next year. But because they traded all these young players for Soto, they can't do it. So what do? They bring in a veteran player that might be on his way out. So is it worth trading all of these young guys for one player that doesn't? There's no guarantee that Soto's going to make them so much better going forward long term. It's just my thought. Okay, it's just a thought that I have. That's why I'm not too like stupid birds. I'm sitting right next to them. They're right here. You can see them. They're right over here. um, but that's my issue really with Ohtani and with Soto is if you're gonna make these guys, you know, bring these guys onto your team, you can't like just say, all right, I want them. I don't care. Trade Alvarez. Trade this guy. Trade that guy. And be done with it. Well, it doesn't work like that all the time. You can't be like you got to be smart about how you run your team long term. And here's the thing: Epler, for instance, has a 4-year deal. Okay, I'm sure he's going to want to have more years with the Mets um, going forward. And Buck, now Buck's a different story because he's got a 3-year contract, and he has said that he doesn't get involved with the moves that the front office makes. He just plays his players. Yeah, like the video, man. Yeah, absolutely. Like the video. Let's like the video here. Let's get some more likes in here. Um, this is a very different channel than all the other channels. I don't, be honest with you. I look at what I do on this channel as a long term thing. This is very different than the other channels you'll ever subscribe to. Because I tell you what I think. And when it comes to these players, I'm pretty much very rarely am I wrong about a player. For all these years, um, that redheaded skunk Justin Turner fooled me. That's for sure. He fooled me more than any other player I've ever followed with the Mets. Because that guy was terrible when he was here. I mean, just completely, totally dreadful with the Mets. And the Mets let him walk and non-tendered him. And the guy goes on to be this star player. The guy was in his late 20s, and all of a sudden he becomes a star. And a little shaky, especially after he's hanging out with Marlon Bird, by the way. But yeah, so again, I'll be back later. In a little bit. You let me know. Should I do a live stream during the game tonight? It's been awfully quiet. Been very, very quiet here with the trade deadline. Would you want to see me do a live stream during the game? But I started contemplating this. I was going to do it, but now Because it's been so quiet, I might not do that. Um, but I will be back later. That I can tell you. I'll be back later before the game. And we'll see what time. I haven't decided yet. I do have errands to run, to be honest with you, but we'll see. But again, the Mets have to be very careful about what they trade. Um, uh, because you can't give up a big prospect like Vientos for a guy like Martinez who's 35 years old, and his back is cranky. Um, let's see, they got Martinez on TV now. 9 home runs and 40 RBIs. The home runs is not a high number. This is a guy that's hit 40 home runs in the past. So I don't know if it's because of the back or what, but his numbers are not what they once were. By the way, just keep that in mind. So that's why you got to sort of, mitigate certain things. You just can't okay, we're just gonna move on. That's it, and you know, trade your best prospects for a guy that's 35 years old. Be interesting to see what the Red Sox do, because the Red Sox could really affect the races and really October, depending on what they traded, who they trade, and everything else. And I would mention this. I was the first to mention Martinez back in May. I did a video on Martinez back in May, because at that point the Red Sox were playing so poorly. They were playing so poorly that they had to make a move. They had to make moves to get rid of some of that dead wood veterans they have up there. I understand also the Mariners oh man, that's a bad injury. They put Julio Rodriguez on the IL. Looks like he hurt his hand. And somebody what the hell? And Altuve got beaned. The shortest man in the world, Jose Altuve. All right, let me just see a couple things. Let me just take a look to see what's going on here. SNY posted something. Now, please, of course, like this video if you haven't already, and subscribe for the Baseball Hut. So I mentioned that Kevin Parada was signed yesterday by the Mets. It's the Mets' #1 pick. The first two picks the Mets had in the first round, they both got signed. Jet Williams got signed, and Kevin Parada got signed. So that's good news. Yes, so please, of course, like this video along the way. We'll be back later on. We're going to have a lot of fun later, as we had fun today. So what time is it now? All right, 10 after. Okay, I think I've done enough here today. But again, I will post this video I posted this morning in the community about Willson Contreras. So if you haven't watched it, please check it out. I'm posting things very early because I kind of look at it, because I know my audience here is sort of a diverse audience. It goes from 18 to 75. So I post stuff early in the morning to get these early rises on. As you know, a lot of retired guys, when they're retired, they're always up like 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. Why? So they can go down to the store and get the newspaper. And some of these guys, they have their phones, and they'll go on their phones and look up stuff. So that's why I've been posting stuff early the last few days. Hopefully, we'll have a video for the morning. The video I posted yesterday, I forgot even what it was. I'm posting so much, I can't remember anything. I posted it did rather well. Let's see. What video did I post yesterday morning? It was on JD Martinez. Yeah, JD Martinez has done very well. I would mention, again, if I haven't said this, thank you for watching the channel, and thank you for watching the videos and subscribing to the videos. The enormous amount of traffic coming into the channel over the last week has been incredible. I have brought in, and this channel has brought in almost 200 subscribers. So I can't thank you enough for coming in and supporting the channel for the last 2 years, but very much all the new subscribers coming in. I thank you. Um, all the likes, all the comments, a lot of new people writing to me. It's great. So uh, when this video uploads, hopefully people watching this video, again, please like the video, leave comments in the video. I don't have any guests lined up over the next couple of days, so that unfortunately is a sucky thing. I like having people in here to talk to. Hello, due diligence. How you doing, Mr. Positivity? Um, I would mention this: a lot of cranky Met fans. I work on the weekends, so when I got home on Saturday, which was late at 6 o'clock, um, I posted a tweet by John Heyman about Willson, Contreras, JD Martinez. I posted a whole bunch of stuff. And the video on Willson, Contreras, and these guys, they go about JD Martinez yesterday, went up in the morning, but I posted a tweet the night before, which was a few minutes after the tweet. So, person wrote to me and said, "Yeah, this is old news. Why are you bringing it up?" About the fact that the Red Sox have finally accepted the fact that they're going to sell. Uh, I am one YouTuber that's very much on this stuff very quickly. Like for instance, I'm going to go out when this live stream is up. But if there is any kind of like tweet out there, I will post it in the community before there's any video. So that's why you have to always watch the channel, always follow what I write, follow what I post, because you never know if something will pop. And if I put it on there, it means I'm not home to let you know, or I'm watching a game. I won't be able to do a video at that moment. Sometimes you can't do a video. You can't do a video right away. Sometimes you gotta let it sit there. And I don't. It's not really good to do videos every minute. Like you get information, do a video, and then something else pops. You can't do it right after that. Uh, the closest you want to get these videos together is every 3 hours at the most. That'd be the tightest. Hello, you sure about that? The Hut, my number one Mets man. You sure about that? I don't know about that. Thank you. I do my best. Now I'm on camera. Hopefully, I can do a little bit better. But we'll see. Man, I should put this graphic up and see if this works, because it doesn't normally work. Let's see how this looks. Because I notice it runs everything down here. All right, here we go. That's not bad. Mr. Met in circles. But it barely moves. Yeah, so I'll be back. There'll be a video up later about Juan Soto when I get back here to the Hut, because that seems to be pretty good. People like watching stuff like that. But so I'll be back in a little bit. Let's see. Okay, here's another stupid comment. The comments sometimes, I'll tell you. I love that people leave comments. But this is from somebody about, I guess, Contreras. If they don't bring in a good bat now, they don't want to win this shit. It's fucking stupid. Stupidity. They're going to win 102 games. They're on pace to win 102 games. $102 games. Again, I'll be back later, and I'll be back in a live stream. I'll have a video up in a little bit. And I'll be back maybe tonight before the game. From you sure about that? Are you sure about that? No, I just love goofing on that name that you got for yourself. Hey, I'm not blowing smoke with what I'm gonna say. Who's complaining about you? You really work at this, and I'm sure about that. Let me tell you, this does not work to me. Okay, following the Mets is not work to me. It really isn't. This is not work. I love this stuff. You know where the work comes in is setting up all this stuff online. That's where the work is to me. Not even writing down the players' names down on my paper here and just telling you where players are, what teams are interested in stuff. That is not like that's not where the work is. The work is this whole thing online. That's the headache to me. you know, that's what my where my frustration comes in. Because a lot of times, and people here earlier, I kept getting knocked out of my own live stream. You know, that's what my frustration is, and that's what the work is. Um, that's where the headache is. The headache isn't what even talking to you. There's no frustration with my subscribers. I love all the subscribers coming in here. You know, um, my frustration comes from setting up everything here. That's the most annoying thing because where I live, all the houses are so close together, and I think that kind of like screws up the signal sometimes when I go live. You know, so that's when my frustration comes in because I've always had that problem here. You know, my frustration doesn't come from talking to you all or really just talking about the Mets. The Mets is like the most fun thing I can talk about. You know, um, so when I talk about the team, this is not work. You know, what's interesting is that most of my friends have moved away that are Met fans, and my coworkers don't follow sports. So when I come here and I'm dying to talk about it, and if they do talk about sports, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. So it's like I say, I'm not talking to anybody that has any idea what's going on. You know, and my family, they like baseball. They don't. They think it's boring. My lady friend doesn't care for it. You know, she calls RBIs RBOs. She's like, Dell, the players are woke. Why are you watching that crap? You know, the players aren't. The teams are. The players aren't. But I don't like. So when I come here and do do this channel, it's not work. It's just a lot of fun doing this stuff. And I love talking about the Mets anyway. Um, but again, just to sort of go through the schedule, I'll be back later on in the afternoon. Um, I'll probably 50-50 right now to do the live stream during the Met game. I like to watch the games, not be part of anything, you know. But we'll see. And of course, tomorrow is the big show. Tomorrow is the big day. I'll be on early again in the morning, probably earlier than I was now. I wasn't planning on coming on at 9. I was going to come on at 8. So I'll probably come on probably 8 o'clock. And we're just going to go and just keep going. Um, and I'll probably take a bit of a lunch break. And I'll come back um, 1 o'clock and just go through the deadline. And obviously tomorrow night is a big night. It's going to be a Mets night tomorrow night. Because the whole baseball world, after the deadline, the biggest player in the game is going to be coming back with Jacob deGrom. So everybody's going to be watching the Mets tomorrow night. And who knows if Juan Soto is going to be there. So that is an extremely big day for us Met fans, is to see how Jake pitches tomorrow night. If Jake comes back and is the pitcher that we all know he is, um, the Mets are going to be very difficult to beat in October. So that might be the biggest acquisition the Mets could make tomorrow, is him coming back and being healthy. I think he's going to be healthy for the rest of the season. He's got a lot riding on it. He's got a lot riding on being healthy. People have sort of been comparing him to what Noah did last year. Noah pitched 2 games, pitched 2 innings. Noah pitched 2 innings, and then he was like, he got a big contract. But with Syndergaard, he had the elbow injury. With deGrom, he's got all these different kind of aches and pains, and it's just a different story. but that's really the big thing with the Mets, is that deGrom comes back tomorrow. That's bigger than any bat that they could possibly get, because that'll really set them up for October. Let's see before we go. Uh, Let me just go through a couple other things here. But in the meantime, please subscribe. Let's see what the sub count is right now. I need to get a few more subs before we get out of here. If you want to participate in the chat, please subscribe and have to wait 2 minutes. Get me 3 more subscribers. That'd be great before we end the live stream. Again, I'll be back. Again, I'm very active on here. So, so whenever you write to me, I do write back. And I would mention if I don't like the comment, I'll take it down. I'll take it down. I've had it, and if they're really abusive, or I know where they're gonna go, I'll just send you off to the Phantom Zone. Skadoosh sends you off. Um, so I've had a couple of cranky ones the last couple of days. It surprised me a little bit. But let's see what's gonna happen here. See what the Mets are gonna do. Yeah, so the Mets made 2 trades. They got Daniel Vogel back from Pittsburgh, and he's everybody's sort of grown on him. Tyler Naquan from the Reds. Never gonna get his name right. Stephen Bunting. No First Amendment here. It's not so much that. You could say it. You can say whatever you want. But I also have a right to manage the channel where people don't feel like I'm being abused, you're being abused, and that's as simple as that. It's actually not that bad, to be honest with you. Like I said, I was very surprised I had to block a couple accounts. That was saying saying some stuff. So, all right. Yeah, I'm reading a couple things just about the Mets talking to the Cubs, talking to the Red Sox. Nothing on Mancini. Mancini's gotten extremely quiet. I haven't heard anything on CJ Crone. I wouldn't touch him. I'm glad they I hope they don't get him. I don't think he's getting moved anyway. I don't know what the hell the Rockies are doing. The Rockies are one of the worst organizations in baseball. Yeah, so the Mets have been talking to 4 teams. Just to let you know, the Cubs, the Tigers, the Orioles, and the Red Sox. So if there's a big trade, it'll be one of those 4 teams. So just to let you all know going forward. I did not see this Reds trade coming down. This was a surprise trade. Everybody was very surprised with that trade. That basically is the final nail in the coffin with Dom Smith, by the way. Dom's probably gone after this. But just check a couple more things. Yeah, so again, I'll be back later on. We want to really get this channel up. I don't know where this channel is going to finish after tomorrow. But it's about where I thought. This is actually done. Actually, the channel's done really well. I would mention a couple things on Social Blade because I follow Social Blade a lot. On Saturday, this channel brought in 23,000 views. 23,000 views. You're all amazing to watch my videos. Yesterday, I had 10,000 views. Amazing. And yesterday was a quiet day. But 10,000 views? Last week on Wednesday, 16,000 views. This channel is kicking ass, folks. And you're kicking the ass, boy, watching all these videos. So that's why I'll have a video later on Soto. I'll probably do that after this and then I'll upload it. But again, thank you all for coming by. We'll be back later. I'll be back later. Steve, but did I see Baseball Hut 3? Don't worry about that. Those other channels are basically there for the moment. Don't bother subscribing to those. The Baseball Hut 2 was really the old comic book Hut 2. Was the old comic book Hut. That channel might be going away. So don't worry about that. Things are going really well on this channel. We'll see how things go after tomorrow, but just don't worry about that other stuff. And I only post things on the other channel if I feel the need to sort of just put something on there. Yeah, those channels aren't going to be around much longer. Uh, this channel does really well, and things are I'm very happy with the way things are here. So um, now I would mention I'm not going to say it, but I do appreciate the time you take to watch the videos on this channel. I do appreciate the time you spend uh, talking about the team, and that's pretty much it. Yada yada yada. Let's go Mets. I'll see you later. Got shit to do, places to go, people to see. Thank you. Have a good day, and I'll see you later. No, really, I'll see you later.